Hey, what's up, you guys? This is Movie Critic Rob here with the Movie Channel, and today is a special treat for you guys. If you look at this hat, this is actually from a premiere event of King Arthur: Legend of the Sword, which is a movie we're going to be talking about today. I was able to go and watch a full viewing of this movie 2 weeks before release, and ironically, it was my birthday, so happy birthday to me on behalf of AMC. Anyway, it was really cool. They gave me this hat, got free tickets to see another movie, and I got a poster, which I put up already. But I wanted to talk to you guys about it, and really, I haven't had this happen where I get to see a movie full-blown like this all the way through and such far away from the release date, 2 weeks away. I actually got to see this before Guardians, so that's pretty awesome. So I wanted to come and talk to you guys about that. So without further ado, let's get into this. So this is a movie by Guy Ritchie, who had previously directed the Sherlock Holmes films that starred Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law. Jude Law makes a comeback in this movie as Lord Vortigern, who is the villain of this film. And really, the movie, if you watch the Sherlock Holmes movies before getting into this, a lot of what's in there will help make sense of what's in here. He treats this King Arthur mythology in the same way he treated the King Arthur, or the Sherlock Holmes mythology, which isn't exactly a negative. It's just different. If you know anything about me, I love this movie. I grew up watching this movie, which was the Antoine Fuqua directed, Jerry Bruckheimer produced King Arthur, which came out in 2004. This is my standard. Does the new one hold up to that standard? Well, let's find out. Let's take a look at the story first. So the story revolves around King Arthur, obviously, and he really doesn't know that he is the king through some events that happened early on in the movie. He is really growing up in the streets of Londinium, not London, because we are in an older time period, and he doesn't know that he is king. But Lord Vortigern is seeking out the true heir to the throne by making him pull out the sword from the stone. You know the story. It's a very faithful take on the King Arthur mythos. And of course, our young Arthur pulls the sword from the stone and is now hunted by the king because, of course, he escapes this whole trial thing and he's on the run to prove his claim to the throne and to get Lord Vortigern off of the throne. That is as far in detail as I'm going to get into this. There's a lot more in this movie, a lot more to explore. So let's look at the positives. Really, the movie is really good. I appreciated the movie. I appreciated the first 5 minutes of the movie were really good. The only thing I don't like about the movie, if you remember in the Sherlock Holmes movies, they did they called it Holmes-a-vision, where they slowed down the fights and they would have him explain the moves he's going to do. They do that here, but it's not as creative, where Holmes-a-vision had a particular story thing that went with it, which was him dissecting the fight in his mind before executing the punches. This one just does slow-mo for the sake of slow-mo and comes off like a Zack Snyder film, which nothing wrong with that because the visual style of Zack Snyder is fantastic, and we all can agree on that, I think. Some people may have a problem with it, but most people can say that he's a visionary director. Now, Guy Ritchie does that a lot, and a lot of the action films are done this way. And in the beginning of the movie, what we see is that there is a lot of There's a lot of montages back to back, which I didn't like, but that really only happens in the first 20 minutes of the movie. Then the movie slows down in editing and becomes a lot better movie because of it. Now, what are the negatives? Let me go back. I really liked Charlie Hunnam. I really liked everybody that really was in the movie. I really liked in the parts that they played. I thought they fit well, especially Charlie Hunnam as the reluctant king who doesn't know what to do with himself throughout the whole movie. I thought it was really well done. So now the negatives. The negatives in this movie, like I said, go along with the editing. The editing kind of feels like it was a mess. And it reminded me a lot of Batman v Superman, which I know as soon as I mention that movie, a lot of you are going to be like, oh no, it's terrible. It wasn't because Batman v Superman lacked the story that this had. And this had a ton of story, not over bloated, but it had just enough to where it felt like it was good. It just kind of felt like the time, the editing that they had to pass time, and so the editing really didn't mesh, and that was the only thing I had as far as a problem with the movie. It really was the only negative I took away from it. Everybody was good, and Jude Law was really menacing and legitimately scared me at one point in the movie, so that was pretty cool. The only other movies I'd seen there were the Sherlock Holmes movies and the Series of Unfortunate Events film, which he played Lemony Snicket, so he did a good job. Those are really the only negatives I have. The movie's really good. It flows well. It has a good story behind it, and a really good take on the King Arthur mythos that is really updated for our times. So the final thoughts, and I thought that for the final thoughts, what I would do is I would give a rating system. I've never done a rating system, but I think it would, well, actually, you know what? I'm not going to give a rating system. Just go by what I say, because I feel like if I give a rating system, then I feel, I feel obligated to keep going, and I don't do rating systems. I feel that if you hear what I have to say, you should be able to tell what I think, and I want you to make your own thoughts about the movie. The movie was really good. I really appreciated it. There were some, like I said, problems in editing, but the movie was good and has a great final act where everything comes together. There are going to be, I think, 5 more films coming out. This is the first of 6 that Guy Ritchie is going to do, and if this is anything to go by, I'm in for the ride. This has been Movie Critic Rob with the Movie Channel, King for a Day, because it was awesome, and I'm signing off.